Hello, welcome to this Fotospeed video with me, Tim Jones. Today I'm going to be answering the question, what is Baryta Paper? So this month we're looking at black and white printing here at Fotospeed and what kind of it means and how we can get some really decent prints and really nice prints out of our printers printing black and white. Now, we can't not talk about Baryta papers when we're talking about black and white, because it seems to be whenever we're talking about black and white printing, Baryta papers come up and they are kind of on the tip of everyone's tongue when they talk about the best papers for black and white. So I thought I'd do a quick video explaining kind of what Baryta actually is and kind of why we should be using it, or we should be using Baryta-like type of papers for our black and white prints. Okay, so let me start really simple. Let me start by looking at what Baryta is and what it actually means. And when we pick up a Baryta paper, what does it have in it that a normal or a non-Baryta paper, should I say, doesn't have? Now, Baryta papers originate from when we were printing our prints back in the darkroom. Now, darkroom papers, or fibre-based darkroom papers, should I say, had what's called a bromate sulfate kind of coating underneath the emulsion, the light receiving emulsion on the darkroom paper. They had this extra coating underneath, and that is what is called Baryta. Now, this extra layer of protection, this bromate sulfate layer, was there to protect the fibres of the paper, to stop the chemicals kind of permeating, kind of getting into those fibres and kind of making the picture, could be said to be a little bit soft and things like that. Now, that was the first kind of thing people thought about, the primary reason for putting that on there. Now, the byproduct of that was the Baryta kind of coating added an amazing kind of black and demax, as we call it now. So they're really deep black and really great for black and whites. But also it improved the sharpness as well, because the chemicals weren't kind of getting into those fibres and kind of messing around in it. So it really held the grain structure of all the film and the prints as well. So they looked pin sharp and they looked fantastic as well. Now, when we talk about digital printing and giclée printing, what happened was when kind of the digital printing revolution came along, what happened was that we then took those kind of techniques from the darkroom and applied it to digital papers, like the Fotospeed Platinum Baryta. Now, the Baryta, we don't really need to apply Baryta and the bromate sulfate to kind of protect the paper from poisonous inks or anything like that coming onto the paper. But what it does do is it still provides us with that really deep black and that high demax, and also improves the sharpness as well. So it actually stops the ink spreading a little bit, apparently. So those are the two main reasons why we should be using a Baryta type of paper when we're printing digitally as well, and especially with black and whites, because we really want that kind of silky black that we can fall into. Now, another reason is almost a little bit of a cosmetic reason of why we should be using kind of Baryta type papers when we're printing, because they look and feel like a darkroom paper, like a fibre-based darkroom print. When you pick up a Baryta type of paper, they feel like a darkroom print. And I think that is another point that a lot of people don't kind of think about, but has a big kind of bearing on using a Baryta type of paper, or kind of a Baryta-like paper as well, because the feel of a print is so much, and I think it's kind of forgotten a little bit. So, and also they smell like a darkroom print as well, because they have that bromate sulfate in it. It kind of gives off a little bit of an aroma, shall we say, a little bit of that nostalgic kind of feel to the prints as well. Now, the big thing these papers do is they create amazing black and whites. Now, we offer our Platinum Baryta paper, which is a true Baryta type of paper, but we also offer what's called Baryta-like type of papers that kind of trying to emulate this look that the Baryta papers have. And we have our Platinum Gloss Art Fibre and our Legacy Gloss. Now, these for me are a little bit heavier weight than the Platinum Baryta and do give a little bit more kind of that darkroom feel. Although they don't have Baryta in there, or the bromate sulfate in there, it really does kind of add to the kind of feel of it. And they do produce amazing blacks. They have really high Dmax and they are amazing papers to try. Now, from Hahnemühle and Canson, there is a large range of Baryta papers. For me, my top pick, I have to say, is the Baryta Prestige that Canson offer. Now, this is a paper I looked at and always wanted to try, but never kind of got round to. So this month, with all these black and white videos I've been doing, I decided to try it. And I think in my paper video I did last week on which papers I should pick, it was kind of number one on my list. I was using the Platinum Baryta a lot to print my new work and things, but I have to say, now my bosses aren't going to be happy about this probably, but I did fall in love with the Canson paper. It's just beautiful and it looks lovely. Now, there are other papers. I looked at the Hahnemühle Fine Art Baryta as well, and that was my first choice to start with. Now, I came back to the Canson paper for one reason, really, was the Fine Art Baryta from Hahnemühle is a very kind of high gloss. It's unglazed gloss, but it's quite a high gloss finish. I wanted something a little bit more satiny, so I just wanted something that would give the intensity of the blacks, the sharpness and things, but just a little bit flatter, a little bit less glossy, basically. So the Platinum Baryta from Fotospeed did that, but I wanted a little bit of texture in there as well. And the Canson Baryta Prestige did that for me. It just brought the gloss down a little bit, but not too much, just to create a little bit more of a satiny look. And then also it added that texture and feel of a darkroom paper. Now, there's an example of just purely personal choice and personal taste in there. So when I'm telling people to look at which papers to pick, the best way is to print and to have a look and try these through different test packs and things. Now, it's all very well me sat here saying that, because generally I get sent some papers from Hahnemühle and Canson and obviously Fotospeed as well to kind of try and to have a look at. And I do understand that these papers are expensive and there's ink involved in things as well. So doing loads of test prints and having a look at different papers sometimes isn't that practical. But I would say it's well worth having a look at the test packs that these companies offer. Usually from £10 to £20 you can get an A4 test pack, but usually has a wide selection of these Baryta papers in. Now, especially from Fotospeed with our Fine Art Glossy test pack, and Hahnemühle do a Fine Art Glossy test pack as well, but also Canson do a Discovery test pack as well. Now, the big thing that Canson offer that we here at Fotospeed don't and Hahnemühle don't offer is that they offer a matte Baryta paper as well. Their Baryta Photographic Matte. Now this is a fabulous paper, and I hadn't really thought about Baryta in terms of matte before, because it's normally associated with kind of a semi-gloss, gloss, kind of satiny pearl kind of finish. So I was really interested to try it, and actually I've been really impressed and really blown away by it, because it gives a really deep black and it doesn't fall off as well. So the contrast doesn't fall off as much as, say, like a cotton base, like a photo rag type of paper. Now, that's a really big advantage when you're printing black and whites. It does, I have to say, feel a lot like our Fotospeed Platinum Matte though. Now, I always classify it as kind of a smooth fine art matte paper with a high white point. So I always recommend it for black and whites because it's got that high white point and it looks fantastic. Now, with this Baryta kind of matte paper that Canson are offering, they are very similar, I have to say. Although ours, our Platinum Matte, doesn't contain Baryta, they are very similar. Both give amazing black and work fantastically as well. So I'm almost tempted now to start calling our Platinum Matte a Baryta type matte paper because they are very similar. Now I should point out, I'm talking about black and white photography a lot here. Now, but all these papers will work amazingly in colour. Now don't think you just have to print black and white images on your Baryta papers. They do colour absolutely amazingly. I used our Platinum Baryta all the time for colour images and it works really, really well. Now something with a deep blacking works particularly well, and it kind of just pops off the page. And also our legacy gloss and things like that work amazing for colour. Slightly warmer type of paper, our legacy gloss. Again, it's a Baryta-like paper. It hasn't got Baryta in, but gives the same feel and the same kind of look of a Baryta type of paper. But also all these papers have a different white point as well. Now, another point when I'm picking papers, I always say to people, get the test packs and then feel the papers first. Don't print on them, just feel them and pick the ones you like the feel of, because that'll give you a very good head start on which ones you're going to print. If you don't like the feel of them, you're not going to print on them. So put them to one side and perhaps come back to them. But that's where I start anyway. So I hope that's answered the questions of kind of what Baryta is and why we should be using it for black and white mainly, but also for colour as well, because they give this massive advantage to us with this deep black and sharpness as well. Saying that though, paper choice is completely personal. Other papers have different qualities as well. So Baryta does one job very well, that deep black, that sharpness. However, the cotton-based papers like the smooth cottons and the NST bright whites and things that we offer here at Fotospeed have a completely different quality that may suit your work better than a Baryta type of paper. So experiment and have a look at those and kind of go from there. But if you are looking for some papers and you wanted to try some out, I've got a lovely voucher code for you, which is FSYouTube15. Now that'll give you 15% off on photospeed.com. It normally gives you 15% off on just Fotospeed papers, but I have extended that this week for 7 days on our Harlemüller and Canson range of papers as well. Now, for all our US viewers out there, we've also got our flat rate shipping of $9 to the US. You will be liable for any import taxes and VAT, etc. In kind of your home state. Just to bear in mind, I have to say that, but well worth it to ship over as well. And also we've got free delivery on orders over £200 as well. So well worth having a look, getting that 15% off and getting some test packs as well. Okay, as always, please don't forget to subscribe. And as I said, next week we got the amazing Jack Perks coming on to talk about his amazing wildlife and nature photography. So please don't miss that. So until next week, bye-bye.